Well, long time no see, people. This is No One Cares, the podcast where I should probably shut up. And I'm your host, Victor Von Reno. It's been a while. Look, it's been a really long time. I'm really happy to be here. It has been so long since you've last heard from me, unless you're following me on some stupid website where you see me post every day. But besides that, podcast wise, we're in a new space. We're doing new things. You're seeing me on video. I'm learning how to do things. And welcome back to No One Cares, guys. Like, I've been getting asked a lot about this silly little podcast since I've stopped doing it. People have been like, "Where you been, buddy? Like, what you been up to? Where's the podcast?" And I guess here it is. It's been in hiding. I've been busy, man. Life has come and it is gone and it's still here, and somehow, some way, so am I. And I don't know. I guess I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be trying this for realsies, and I'm very thankful for everybody who's been like, "Where's the podcast?" Like, this has been one of the things in all of my endeavors that people seem to care about a lot. So here I am, and I got a lot of things to talk about, man. First of all, what I've been up to. I mean, 2024 has been a pretty gnarly year for me, in a good ways, in great ways, and actually really great ways. Life has been moving very quickly. I've been very busy. I've gotten to see the world. I've gotten to travel. I've gotten to do music. And I guess I'm just happy to be alive, to be honest. Like, I've just been so appreciative. Honestly, let me open this. ASMR. It's Red Bull if you're not watching. And I will be sipping. Yeah, I've seen everything, man. I've like gotten great opportunities to start touring with artists, and I've learned so much. I've seen so much. I've done so much, and I'm just really just honored to be alive or whatever. So yeah, I haven't been home. I haven't been able to focus on the things that I like care about, my music, my podcasting, etc., etc. So here I am trying to do it for realsies, I guess, going into 2025. I'm filming this like 2 days before Christmas, so I'm not sure when I'm going to release it yet. I've got a lot to learn about doing these fucking real things, about like posting in those ways. So bear with me if things are in the past, or I guess bear with me for the clunkiness of this all while I restart. Let's just hop into it. I got things to talk about. And first off, Rome. We're going to talk about fucking ancient Rome, okay? I have been obsessed with Rome. You know, when people are like, "Your Roman Empire? What's your Roman Empire?" My Roman Empire is fucking Rome, okay? It's the Roman Empire is my Roman Empire. Let's take it back. How this started, I've been hyped for Gladiator 2 for like all year because I don't fucking know why. Honestly, I hadn't seen it until this year. And that's kind of what started this all. I watched it for the first time in the summertime because I saw Deadpool and Wolverine in the theaters and they had the preview for Gladiator 2. And I was like, wow, A, Paul Mescal, really hot. B, people fighting, I guess, really entertaining. And then C, there was no C. But I needed to watch Gladiator for the first time. And so me and the homies watched it. We watched it. And look, I don't like things that are like politically charged, nor do I like movies that are like men talking. Like I you cannot get me to watch what's the fucking Oppenheimer. Not happening. I watched The Irishman, what the fuck ever. Like Reservoir Dogs. I don't even know what it's about, but I'm not gonna watch it. Anyways, I don't like men talking. Gladiator is a lot of that, but something about the vibes are just untouched. Like they're just untouched. Like the vibes are just really good. I don't know if that really sold it, but it's what I feel. Anyways, I watched it for the first time, loved it, and then I watched Gladiator 2 with all the homies, and then I watched it by myself. I saw it twice, and alas, it sparked this like obsession with ancient Rome. I'm reading. I got back into reading this year, and I'm reading a lot about ancient Rome. And then also, I've been watching like media. I'm just consuming as much like Roman media as I can. I've seen a lot of like this movie Pompeii sucked. We watched 300 sucked. We watched both Gladiators, bomb. And then by we also me and my homie Sebastian, who's like a history teacher, like history like buff, loves it. So he's been locked in with me and very happy that I'm locked into it. So we've been like enjoying this together, and then are watching this TV show on HBO called Rome. It's just called Rome. Wow, like it's for sure. It came out in 2005. For sure, like the precursor to Game of Thrones, because you know HBO as well. You could tell they're like getting their footing. You can tell they're like HBO's like trying what they can do, but it's really good. Like it feels like Game of Thrones. It gives Game of Thrones, and just like what's up with Rome, you guys? Also, if you can hear this chair squeaking, like it's just part of the bit. What's up with Rome, guys? Like I got obsessed really because I was researching Pompeii, which is that city that got burned down in the volcano. Like, yeah, it got burned down. Um, and I like so a lot of it's preserved. A lot of it you can see a lot of it still. And they have like these preservations of these ancient ruins, and on the ruins there's graffiti, like OG Roman graffiti, and the graffiti's crazy. It really got me locked in. It's like pictures of like dicks and shit, and it's like pictures of dicks, and it's like your boy Jeremy sucks this, like, or it's like I fucked your mom, or it's like I'll just look up Pompeii graffiti. Like you would be so surprised. I don't know, that locked me in. Like it just made me be like, wow, they're like Romans. They're just like us. Anyways, so I've been really into Rome. All that being said, I really want to go visit now. I just think like the lore is crazy. You know what I mean? Like it's real life, but it's still. Hold on, taking a sip. So good. The lore is. It's just like wild. Like imagine you're Caesar, the OG Caesar, and you're ruling your kingdom, and you're really into it, and all your boys are hyping you up. Like you had some beef like a couple days ago, but like the beef is settled. You're like chilling, everybody's loving on you. All of a sudden, you walk into your job, your place of work. You're trying to do your job at your place of work, and you get stabbed like a cool 100 times or something like that. Like, no, maybe it was like 30, but you get like stabbed like 30 times by all your best boys. And then on top of that, your best boy, that was like your son, his name's Brutus, who's like a son to you. He's part of that. I mean, the betrayal. Like, but it's real life, you know, it happened. So rip Caesar. But things like that, I'm just like, how can you not love? How could you not love? I don't know. Maybe you're not into it, but I'm into it. What else do we got to talk about? I think like going into 2025, I've got my AMC stubs. I'm like watching movies, I'm watching stuff, and like going to the theater and seeing all the previews. How am I to be hyped for 2025, the year of sequels? The year of sequels and remakes. And yes, I did just talk about Gladiator 2, which is a sequel and a remake kind of at the same time. Um so I guess we're gonna skip that one. But the rest of them, what the fuck? What are we doing? Like, what happened to original movies? You know, I think the last like original movie that got really hyped, well, I guess recently was The Substance, which I don't want to get into because I hated it. I hated it so much. It was one of the only movies I've ever walked out of, but I guess we won't talk about that. But the only other movie that like has been original that got really hyped that I can think of was Saltburn, and like loved Saltburn. But Saltburn's also like it's like a ripoff of a ripoff of like The Talented Mr. Ripley. So I don't know. Like, what am I saying? Where's the originality? Like, what am I supposed to subscribe to anymore? Like, I don't care about these IPs that are dead and gone. I guess I care. That's why I feel weird talking about it because I did just like goon over Gladiator 2. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like, are we really making another Shrek? Like, I thought that was dead. Like, and I love Shrek. I love Shrek. I love Shrek 2. I love Shrek. Why are we making another one? Like, that's dead and gone. Like, it's done. Let's leave it in the past. I think we should just leave things in our past in 2024. Like, I just don't understand. And if you guys are into it, and like, what are we doing? Like with the live action? Why? Like, I don't really get why. Like they dump like $30 million or something into these movies. Probably a lot more than that, to be real. And like all this CGI. Like, can we say for what? Like, could I be the one to say for what? so that this animated movie that like a whole different generation of children watched could like now watch them be animated. Why is it live action? That's like not live. And usually it's not that much action. Like there's not a lot of things going on. It's like I don't know. So I'm really not looking forward to 2025 in terms of like movies, in terms of like pieces of media. I'm just tired of like the remakes and the sequels. I guess that's just me. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's my burden. Um, what else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about goals. Okay, like I said, like this year was really good for me. And if we remember my last podcast, which was like a year ago, it was talking about how 2023 was not a good year for me. And not for anything crazy, but I just feel like when I got to the end of 2023, I was like, what did I do this year? Like what did I do that I'm really proud of doing this year that I can look back on at the end of the year and be like, I'm happy I did that. I'm happy I saw that. I'm happy I was there. And I didn't have any of that for 2023. And like, granted, it wasn't a bad year. Like, I didn't get stabbed like 30 times by all my best homies, but like, it was still an uneventful year. And I think going into 2024, my whole thing was like, let's make it a good year. So in January, I made a list of things that I wanted to accomplish, like a list of goals. I wanted to graduate. I hadn't gone snowboarding ever, so I wanted to go snowboarding. I wanted to try out surfing. I wanted to go to England, visit England. I wanted to visit the East Coast. And like at the beginning of the year, I had no idea how all these things were going to get accomplished. And honestly, some of them just felt like wet dreams. And here we are in December. It's like December, like it's Christmas Eve, 24th. And here we are, and I that whole list is finished, and I'm like, whoa, we did that. I don't know. I started this year not knowing how these things were going to happen, and now I'm at the end of the year, and all of them happened like so organically. But also, I guess why I'm bringing this up is that like I made this list of things, and I kind of was like, okay, if they happen, they happen. If they don't, they don't. But they all did because I made like a conscious effort to keep thinking about these kind of things, like to keep like snowboarding. Like, you know, that's not like a thing necessarily that's gonna just organically pop up into my life. But you know, it was like my birthday. It was like March time. It was like still snowing and there was like $100 to go, but I was like into season. I was like, I never went. And I was just like, if I want these things to happen, I have to make them happen. Like, I don't have to spend a whole weekend there. I can make it a little weekend. I could spend like one day there or whatever. I can do a couple hours and come home the same day. Like, I don't know. Like, I think I'm just scared of like big commitment things and making this list. Like, it was like, oh, these things all feel like big commitments. But looking at it as one piece of thing and saying, what are the small steps that I can do to get there? It really helped me achieve all these things that I've just been looking forward to. And I'm proud of myself for that. And I guess what I'm trying to say is going into 2025, there's not very many things yet that I have to put on that list. But I'm a build them, you know, I'm a think of some things. I'm usually not a person who cares too much either about like December to or January to December. Like that's 12 months and a year is like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not super like new year, new me, but you know, the Romans made this calendar for a reason. And it's been like this for a long time. So, you know, maybe there is some significance to January to December, and maybe there is some significance to being like, this was a year, and how did this year pan out, and what did I like, and what didn't I like? I got really excited about all that. I'm chill. So yeah, it's been a good year. Let's check what time we're at here. I'm still trying to figure it all out. You know, I'm only on 14 minutes. Bitch, I could talk for a long time still because I'm still trying to do like 30-minute things. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was doing back in the day, where 30-minute like intervals or 30-minute podcasts. Sometimes I just throw words in. You see that? Sometimes I just say things. Interval. Why did I say that? It's a big word, sounded smart, didn't fit into that sentence, still said it. Anyways, I'm trying to do 30-minute podcasts. I feel like that's a good time, and I feel like I talk really fast, so I can get a lot of information in 30 minutes. Because some people do the hour-long thing, and that's cute and good for you. I'm not you. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 30 minutes, and I'm going to yap for 30. So we're at 15 right now, bitch, only halfway. Okay, and we still got so much more I could talk about. I want to talk about music. I have my weekly playlist every week. I really want to like, I on my Instagram I do my weekly playlist. Like I post them every week, and people seem to care about that. Like again, I don't know why the fuck you guys care about anything I'm doing. I don't know, like if I'm gone from Instagram, meaning if I don't post a fucking story for like 3 days, somebody's like, "Where you been?" I'm like, like why do you care? I have like 1,000 followers, like if that. I don't even know if I do. It's like I'm not special. Anyways, all that being said, I post these weekly playlists, and so I feel like I should incorporate it into the pod because I mean, why not? Like I just yap. So on my little reels, this is my first one of like trying this. I'm gonna post like right there, like my weekly playlist, and we can talk about it a little bit. I see it here in front of me. I have been obsessed with Donda. I feel like I shouldn't like starting the podcast and getting immediately canceled is like not cute, but I I really like this album. My homie Sebastian hates it. He says it's too Jesus like. And I feel you, but it's a good album. And I just remember, does anybody remember the hold on, I'm sipping the Red Bull. Okay. Does anybody remember the release for it? I'm sure we all do. Like all these stadiums, he was like living in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. He was doing like these release things like every other day, like playing the whole album. Just good vibes. I moved to the Bay like right for like a year, like right after this album came out. So it just reminds me of that time in my life. And then this is what I really wanted to talk about. Ian. Do we know Ian? He's like a white boy. He's like a rapper. A lot of discourse about this fool. Like a lot of discourse about if this fool should be like rapping, like if he's making a mockery of rap. Because he's like this white suburban, like like Santa Clarita, like if you know that vibe, like it just like he's just like a white boy. I think he's from like St. Louis, Missouri or some shit, but he raps like he's Future and like a little bit like Young Thuggy and shit. Like he's very like I'm gonna die for this shit, like rapping about things like that. And people are being like, this fool didn't like go through any of this. So like, is this like making a mockery of the art form? I don't know. I also don't really care. Is that is that allowed? I don't know if it's allowed. But why do we care? Like, what do we care if these people really went through these things? What do we care? Like, I think if you're making this art, like, just make it fucking good. Like, is that so controversial to say? Like, I don't feel like you need to go through. It's like the same thing when people are like, only gay people should play gay roles like in movies. Why? Like it's a fucking actor. Like they're supposed to act. It's like if we're casting for Star Wars, should we be like, this person needs to have at least traveled to 7 galaxies to play this alien? Like, no, you're an actor. And like similarly with these artist things, like you're an artist. You're a rapper, rap. Like it doesn't matter what you rap about. I don't know why we care so much about things like that. I don't know why. Like, why do we care about things like that? I feel like just make it good. It's that's the thing is that people will call out this fool Ian for like you aren't in you aren't in the rap world, like you aren't experiencing these things, and nobody's gonna call out fucking Rihanna for not writing a single one of her songs ever. Like ever. And it's like maybe you could be like, okay, you know, S&M, maybe she goes that hard. You know, maybe she relates to this. But she didn't write it, and like we still respect her. Y'all put a lot of respect on her name, which love. Please don't yell at me. Like I love Rihanna too. But I don't know, it's just kind of weird for things like that. Like a lot of artists are like that, you know what I mean? Like we're so quick to call out these people and be like, you don't represent this. But it's like we could have the people who represent that and they're gonna be like so much more successful than these little like Ian dudes who like are a little fad. It's just a little fad, you know what I mean? He's gonna be a little Xan, like, you know, he'll phase out when his time phases out. And the Kendrick Lamars are still gonna be fucking Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? Um I don't know. I don't know. That's like my perspective on it. But also I'm just a guy. But I guess you're here listening to me, so that's what I had to say about that. What else do I have to say about this playlist? Maybe not too much. I'm liking the music this week. I've been slowing down a lot with my consumption of things towards the end of this year. I don't know, dude. It's like I do this music touring and like I make my own and I'm surrounded by it and I talk about it all the time and it's like how much can I absorb? Which is there's so much, so much, but I don't know, like looking at my Wrapped or whatever. I do Apple Music, but looking at my Wrapped at the end of the year, I was like I didn't really venture out too much this year. Like I didn't really absorb new artists. And I'm thinking like, should I? You know what I mean? Or I do my weekly playlist, and I'm like, oh, this one has like a lot of mainstream music per se. And I don't know if I should feel bad for that, but I kind of don't. Uh, I don't. So I don't know, but I feel like people are really pretentious about music, and I just refuse to be that person. Like I don't know. As much as I love it, as much as I'm in the craft and loving the craft, I refuse to be the person who's like you should listen to this many artists or like oh my god you only listen to this or like oh my god your top five or like we're like like what are we doing like why are we like three fists up each other's asses like why are we like digging around trying to find the answers in like my asshole, you know what I mean? I don't know what I just said. Anyways, um yeah, I don't know. I think the last thing I want to talk about, and I don't know, like all roads lead to X-Men for me. Like I don't like I just want to talk about the X-Men for a little while again. And you know, it's my first pod back. Like let me fucking talk about the X-Men. I love them. There's like this whole thing where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like bringing back all these OGs, fucking Tony Stark or what's that fool's real life name? Robert Downey Jr. He's gonna come back and play Doctor Doom. That's booty. I love Doctor Doom, like Victor Von Reno, like it's what it's named after. Like I love Doctor Doom. That's my goat. And it's like we couldn't even pick a new guy to do it. Like we're gonna pick this out, like this old fool. Already is like known for something else, so it kind of like cheapens this. I don't know. I sound like a nerd right now. I sound like I care way too much about this, and it's true. But it's like that's the goat. Okay, that's my goat. And like if we're gonna bring the X-Men into this, like you better not fuck it up. Like, and I care way too much about that. But Deadpool and Wolverine was bomb. Bomb. And I don't care about the fan service thing. Like I had to drink my Red Bull again. I don't care about the fan service thing. Or I do care about it. Like I'm really turned off by it. Like I didn't watch the Spider-Man with all the Spider-Mans. Because I don't care. I don't know. Anyways, I watched it, and I think Deadpool and Wolverine did the fan service thing like really well because they locked into the corniness of it. Of like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if Marvel completely took hold of that and like made it the way they wanted to, like Chris Evans pulling up as fucking Fantastic Four, which another one of my goats. Like they could have made that really corny. They would have probably made it really corny. And I think Deadpool and Wolverine just took the piss out of it. And so I really enjoyed that. So if they pull up with the X-Men again, y'all better not mess it up. Cause I've been reading the comics, bro. I've been locked in and I'm just like, we deserve something good. I want to rewatch those movies like right now, actually. And I probably will. And that's my prerogative. And when I come back here next week and I mention them again for some reason, hop off. Like hop off. Like I love them. I love the X-Men. I love Wolverine. I love my boy Charles. I always say this that I like call him by their first names. So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. I guess in the Marvel world because I am that little nerd. I'm still that little fucking superhero nerd that collected all those comics and cares a little bit too much about this. So here I am. I'm rearing on like 25 minutes. I feel like that's a smart number to do the first pod because I gotta. Oh my god. And I'm not gonna apologize for that actually. Anyways, this is like my first pod in a while. I'm gonna have to learn how to like chop up the reels. I'm gonna have to learn how to like put this audio to that audio. And I'm doing this all by myself. So 25 seems pretty cool for me. Like it's a nice introductory one. And then I can get a vibe of like what's working, what's not. So thank you guys for attending class today. Thank you guys for participating in nothing. You guys didn't do shit. I did this. Anyways, thank you guys for being here. No one cares is back and better. Actually, probably worse to a certain extent. But I'm back and it's happening. And going into these next couple weeks, I'm gonna be getting my footing on this. And I appreciate you guys like being here and caring or not. Um, I hope you guys interact with me in the online hemisphere because I'm gonna be on the TikToks and on the fucking Instagrams and I don't know, bro. I don't know why you guys listen to me. I don't know why you're here, but thank you guys nonetheless. I love doing this, and I love when you tell me how great it is and how hot and sexy I am. And that's all. Goodbye. Until next time. Later.